Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to open with a simple but important question. Have you ever looked at the top speed figures in the Racing Post, seen a horse with a big number next to its name and thought, that's the one. It's the fastest horse in the race. It has to go close. If you have, you're not alone. Thousands of punters every day lean heavily on speed figures when making their selections. And on the face of it, the logic is compelling. Racing's about speed. The fastest horse should win. But here's the catch. In UK racing, it's rarely that simple. Speed figures can be powerful. They can highlight horses running well above their handicap marks. They can uncover hidden merit in a run that otherwise looks ordinary on paper. Used well, they can be a friend, one of the sharpest tools in a punter's armoury. But they can also be deeply misleading. Falsely run races, small fields, muddling paces, or ground conditions can turn those same figures into traps. Follow them blindly and they quickly become a foe. So in this episode, we're going to take a deep dive into speed figures in UK racing. Specifically, what speed figures and top speed in particular actually measure, why punters are drawn to them and where they can genuinely shine, and the hidden pitfalls that can mislead even experienced bettors. And most importantly, how to blend speed figures with pace and class to create a more rounded, logical approach. And stick with me to the end, because I'll also give you a way to grab my red flag method mini course for free. It's a short practical guide that will help you consistently spot and lay weak favourites, the perfect complement to what we're about to cover today. Alright, let's get started. To understand speed figures, let's start at the very beginning. The concept originated in American racing, where the legendary handicapper Andrew Bayer developed his own private system in the 70s. His Bayer speed figures became so influential that they were published eventually in the daily racing form. The idea was straightforward. Rather than simply recording a horse's finishing time, Bayer wanted to standardise times across different tracks, conditions and distances. That way, punters could compare performances on a like-for-like basis. In the UK, we've had our own versions over the years, but the most widely available today is Topspeed, published in the Racing Post. So what exactly is a top speed figure? At its simplest, it's a number assigned to a horse's performance based on its time compared to a standard for the course and distance. It's then adjusted for factors like weight carried and going allowance. A high top speed figure means the horse ran a race noticeably fast against the clock. A low figure means that the run was slow, at least in raw time terms. Punters are attracted to them because they provide a quantitative measure in a sport dominated by qualitative opinions. While race commentary, paddock inspection and trainer quotes are all subjective, a speed figure looks objective. It's a hard number, and for punters who feel overwhelmed by noise, that number can feel like a lifeline. But here's the most important first point. Top speed is not a raw stopwatch measure, it's an interpretation, and every interpretation has its assumptions baked in. Let's break that down. So firstly, standard times. Every course and distance has a par time based on historical averages. Top speed compares the actual race time to this standard. Number 2, going allowance. Times are adjusted for the going. A race run on soft ground will naturally be slower, so the figure is boosted to reflect that. 3, weight carried. Carrying more weight theoretically slows a horse, so the figure adds credit for extra burden. 4. Distance. Shorter trips exaggerate speed, longer trips dilute it. Adjustments are made accordingly. What this means is that the top speed figure isn't the same as looking at a stopwatch and saying this horse ran X seconds. It's a constructed performance rating. Done right, that construction is incredibly useful. It allows us to say that horse's run at Lingfield is equivalent to, in performance terms, to this horse's run at Newbury. And that, in theory, lets punters compare apples with apples. So, that's what speed figures are. Now let's talk about where they actually shine. Speed figures are at their best in true run competitive races. Think of the big field handicap at Ascot, York or Newmarket. The pace is honest, the competition is strong, and the horses are asked to run close to their maximum ability. In these situations, a speed figure provides a genuine benchmark of merit. For example, a horse rated 85 on official figures posts a top speed of 95 in a strongly run race. That suggests it has run well above its mark and may still be ahead of the handicapper. A lightly raced 3-year-old posts a big figure against older rivals. That can be a clue it's rapidly improving. Speed figures also shine in cross-race comparisons. Imagine you're assessing 2 Class 3 handicaps on the same card. One is won in a top speed of 82, the other in 96. That disparity can reveal which race contained the stronger form, even if the finishing margins look similar. Another strength is spotting progression. Horses often step forward in leaps, not increments. Seeing a runner jump from top speed 70 to 90 in one run tells you it may be on an upward curve. In these situations, speed figures are unquestionably a friend. They strip away the who beat who confusion of form lines and lets you anchor your assessment in something measurable. But, and this is the critical but, speed figures only tell the truth when the race itself was a true test, and in UK racing, that's not always the case. Here's where we need to get brutally honest. While speed figures can be powerful, they are also riddled with pitfalls in UK racing, because our racing is structured differently from the US. Let's start with the most common trap. Falsely run races. UK races, especially for small fields, are often tactical. Horses dawdle through the first half, then sprint home. The result? The overall time looks slow. The top speed figure comes out low. Punters who rely on that number alone dismiss the form, but in reality, the slow time was a function of pace, not ability. Horses may still have run to a high level in the closing stages. The speed figure just doesn't capture it. And the opposite can also happen. A race run at a furious gallop can produce inflated figure, flattering horses who simply clung on. 2. Small fields. Small fields are especially prone to tactical affairs. With fewer runners, there's less chance of an even gallop. Leaders can dictate pace, jockeys can stack them up, and the whole shape of the race distorts the clock. Speed figures in these cases are often meaningless. 3. Ground conditions. Going allowances are notoriously difficult to standardise. A heavy shower mid-card can change conditions dramatically. A top speed figure calculated on an incorrect going allowance is distorted at source. 4. Track biases. Not all courses are created equal. Sharp turns, undulations, draw bias, these can all exaggerate or underplay times in ways in which the raw figure doesn't account for. 5. Sectional nuance. Speed figures are usually whole race measures. They don't reflect sectional dynamics. A horse that does exceptional mid-race work but fades late may still earn a poor top speed, even though the effort was revealing. Sixth, statistical noise. Finally, remember, a single figure is just one data point. Horses are living, breathing athletes. One-off highs and lows are common. Anchoring on one number in isolation is dangerous. So here's the bottom line. Speed figures can mislead when taken at face value. They're not infallible. Unless we combine them with context, pace, class, conditions, they can lure punters into a false confidence. So how do we make speed figures a friend rather than a foe? The answer is integration. Let's break it down into a framework. Step 1, check the race shape. Before trusting a speed figure, ask yourself, was the race truly run? If yes, the figure carries weight. If no, treat it with caution. Step 2, factor in class. A big speed figure in a low class race may flatter. Horses may look fast against weak rivals, but struggle when raised. Conversely, a modest looking figure in a higher class race may actually be very strong form. Step 3, blend with pace analysis. Look at how the race was run. Did the horse overcome a poor pace setup? That enhances the figure. Did it benefit from being the only one on the right pace? That may downgrade the merit. Step 4, build a checklist. When using speed figures, always ask, was the pace honest? Was the field size sufficient? Were the conditions stable? How does the class of race compare? Do the sectionals support or contradict the number? By running through this checklist, you filter out the noise and stop yourself from treating top speed as gospel. So, are speed figures in UK racing a friend or a foe? I guess the honest answer is it's both. Used blindly, they can be one of the biggest traps in betting. They seduce punters with the appearance of objectivity, but collapse when exposed to the messy realities of small fields, false paces, and shifting conditions. But used wisely, as part of a broader framework that blends pace, class, and context, they are a powerful ally. They can highlight hidden gems, confirm progressive profiles, and anchor form lines in measurable reality. The key, as always, is structure. At Money Horse, that's what we're all about. Not hype, not tips, not guesswork, but logical, repeatable methods that cut through the noise. That's why I created the red flag method, a free mini course that teaches you how to consistently spot and lay weak favourites. It's a quick, practical, and designed to give you the discipline and clarity that most punters are missing. If you'd like to try it, you can grab it yourself right now. It's either in the show description or the show notes, or at moneyhorse.info/red-flag-method. It's the perfect companion to what we've discussed today, because while speed figures can help you identify who might win, the red flag method helps you profit by knowing who probably won't. So remember, speed figures are a tool. They're not your friend, they're not your foe. They're what you make of them. Use them with logic, blend them with context, and they can become one of your sharpest edges in your betting arsenal. Until next time, bet with clarity, bet with purpose, and may the red flags guide you away from costly mistakes. And as always, win quietly.